Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted to be joined by the one and only dazzling Darren Barker. Darren, we spoke a little bit before I pushed record there. I just want to ask the same question again. How are things with you and the family during these old times?
Look, it's crazy, isn't it, what we're going through. But I'm managing, I'm doing all right. You know, most importantly, you know, my family's all healthy. No one's suffered from the coronavirus or fallen ill. You know, so that for me is the most important thing. You know, that the family's all good, all healthy. I'm a little bored. Don't get me wrong. I'm missing boxing, but I'm doing all right.
That's the thing. I every time I see you in the hotel, if it's a fight week or whatever, whether it be like Monte Carlo or Sheffield or wherever we are, like, you're a true boxing man. You're so passionate about the sport. So that's what I'm going to ask you. How are you coping right now with no boxing? I mean, you must be pulling your hair out.
I am. Don't get me wrong, but
you're not quite bald like me yet, Darren. But
look at the barnet though. Look, it's getting long, isn't it? I've not lost any hair, thankfully. But what I've been doing, I've just been watching old fights. Sky have been putting a lot on, haven't they? So I watched fights I've seen before, but you know, Eubank, Gary Stretch, Jim McDonald, Azuma Nelson. Was it Nigel Ben? Who was it? But anyway, just been watching loads of old fights. Barrera Morales, just loads. So that's been filling a void, I guess.
So, what would for some people that want to watch old fights, what old fights would you recommend to go and watch then?
Oh, it's tough. Barrera Morales, I don't know if anyone's seen that. If you haven't seen it, rather, I don't know where you've been, but still, it's well worth watching again. For the newer boxing fans, try and watch some Sugar Ray Robinson, because he was arguably the greatest ever fighter. So all of it, you know, as many of his fights as you can watch, because he was like a modern day fighter back then. He would have slotted into this era easily, in my opinion. Who else? God, throw me. Roy Jones as well. I think because of the way his career ended, people forget how good he was. Like, for me, I think you could put him in the top 3 ever. I think he's that good, Roy Jones. His fight, good fight, technical fight with James Toney. James Toney was a very good fighter. Another fight I watched, James Toney versus what was his name? Giroc, was it? When he won the cruiserweight title?
Oh yeah. I can't remember. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, you'll find it. He wins the IBF cruiserweight title. He wins it in the last round, I think, and he's probably behind on the cards. I mean,
there's so many, isn't there?
It's just the obvious springs to mind as well. Ward Gatti, you know, like another one.
What about Barker Gill? What about that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for you to say that. I can't say it, can I?
I was hoping you would say it. I'll bring it up and I'll say it. Barker Gill's a great fight. I want to ask you as well, like, obviously you're a boxing man and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on the British Boxing Board of Control sort of like putting on fights they're talking about putting fights on a fight card in July, isolating fighters, isolating teams in front of no fans and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that? Can you see it going ahead?
Yeah, well, if all the necessary precautions are taken and testing's carried out and the isolating is part of the deal, first and foremost, the staff and the boxers agreed to it, then yeah, I see why not. Look, if I was a current fighter now, an active fighter, I want to be busy. So if it meant fighting behind closed doors, I'd snap your hand off. I would be desperate to get in the ring, regardless. And I think from the viewer side of things as well, I think it would make good entertainment as well. Like, some of the best action I've seen in a boxing ring has been sparring. and you could say, in some respects, these fights will almost be like glorified sparring sessions. No crowd, no atmosphere, no 12th man, as they say. But I still do believe we'll be treated to some brilliant action. And also, I think if some of the fights go to a points decision, I think we'll see better scoring as well. Judges won't be influenced by crowd, etc. So I'm all for it. Again, obviously being a bit biased because I love the sport and I'm desperate to see some live action. But like I say, if everything's taken care of as far as the safety is concerned, then I see why not. So I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't know if the people have been asking me, will we be involved, sort of the media side of guys like you and Chris doing your sort of pre-show interviews, me doing the interviews and stuff like that. That's what I got a couple of tweets and stuff and Instagram messages saying, will I be involved in? I don't think. Do you think they'll fit us in or anything like that? I said no. I don't think we'll be involved in it one bit. But hand on that.
I don't know. I think if it goes ahead, me and Chris may be involved. I'm hearing things, but I don't. Nothing's set in stone yet. Put it this way: if I'm not involved, I will have it on the box watching it.
Definitely.
I'm gutted that we've got to wait till July, but we've got to think of the safety of everybody, and I mean, obviously that is the most important thing because we need to get the death rate down, don't we? I don't think we can do anything silly. I don't think the announcement tomorrow, I don't think it's going to bring up anything dramatic or any drastic changes, rather. I think we're going to be pretty much the same. I think it would be something like you're allowed to go out twice a day and things like that. A few more shops might open, but I don't think there's going to be a great deal any different going on. But anyway, I just want live sport.
Yeah, I know how you feel, mate. Like I said, talking about shops being open, there's a Costa open. That's why I said 10:30 for this interview because I went to go and grab a quick coffee.
Blimey. Was that drive-through?
Drive-through, yeah, just down the road, so it's not too bad.
Got to make my own coffee. What's the world coming to?
First world problems. Dan, see this sort of like lockdown, this quarantine that we're going through, and obviously with what's going on with the pandemic and stuff, a lot of people have sort of emphasised the fact that we need to see the fights, the big fights now. There's no more, we shouldn't really be waiting for promoters and managers and everything like this to get involved in process. Just get the big fights made. So the question is for you then, what are the fights that you want to see? Once this is all done and dusted and stuff like that, and we finally get that sort of graph going down the way, which are the fights that you want to see? The obvious one, AJ Fury, I guess.
That's the obvious one. But it's the biggest fight out there for me in world boxing. It's the marquee division, isn't it? And we're just so fortunate that both guys are British. And to be fair, could be hosted anywhere in the world. Hope it's here. I hope it's a big stadium fight, so we all get to watch it. But I totally understand the fighters' mentality of they want to make as much money as they can because it will be the biggest fight of their career. So that's the obvious, the biggest fight I want to see. I would love to see Lomachenko Davis. Is a fight I would love to see. I would love to see the British clash. Boatsy Yard is a fight I'd love to see. I think that's difficult to get made, but still, regardless, it's a fight I would love. What else? Come on, man. What? And
Spence Crawford.
Spence Crawford. I'd love to see, again, because I know him and being patriotic, I'd love to see Kel in with either of those guys, but preferably Crawford. And I was going to say one then.
You're the only one that mentioned
Canelo, Billy Joe. I'd love to see Canelo, Billy Joe, because I really do think Billy Joe could cause Canelo all sorts of trouble. And again, talking from a boxer's perspective, having that mentality, having my boxer's hat on, I just think where it's been this sort of, it's not been a massive delay in careers, it's not been a huge layoff, but I think now boxers are going to be desperate to get in there with big fights. So where I don't think you'll see fighters wanting to take warm-up fights. I think it'd be like, look, I've been sat at home, I've been ticking over, I'm bored, I've got itchy fists, get me in the ring with the best opponent out there. So I think it's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be a good time to be a promoter, if I'm honest, because I think you're going to have loads of fighters desperate to get in there with the best. So I think once all of this calms down and we're able to get shows up and running again, I think they're just going to be turning them out week in, week out. And I think they're going to be quality shows. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to. I hope as well.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm kind of hoping that as well. I just want to go back to the Fury Joshua fight. Now there is talk about it being in Saudi. A lot of British folk are like, why is it in Saudi? You know, have it at home and stuff like that. I want to get your opinions on the fight itself. I mean, who wins that fight for you? Can you say? Are you sitting on the fence?
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it makes me laugh when people don't give opinions. The only time I don't give an opinion on a fight is if I genuinely can't split them. But it's sport at the end of the day. I don't like it when people get a little bit precious about, oh, why are you not supporting him? Why are you not doing this? Oh, look, it's sport. This is, you know, there's bigger things going on in life. Don't worry about my opinion on who I think is going to win a fight. And you know, if you don't agree with me, so what? It's, you know. So anyway, going back to it, I just favour Fury in that. I think it's very close, but the reason I say that is, and the main reason is because of how destructive he was in his last fight, and I think confidence he will take from that, knowing that he can really stamp his authority on contests now, using his weight, fighting from the centre of the ring, trusting his power, because we know how good he is on the back foot, how elusive he is, how hard he is to cleanly tag. So I think now it's almost like a new and improved Fury, I think. And I just think he kind of, in his unorthodox way, is the total package, I guess you could say. He's got a bit of everything, hasn't he? Very difficult to hit, great footwork for a big guy. He's powerful. He can whack. He can bully opponents. Got brilliant jab. He's got it all. AJ, also, he's a well-rounded fighter. You know, you would say he's the bigger puncher out of the two. He's technically sound. He's your typical, I guess, well-schooled fighter, isn't he? For someone who's not been fighting for that long, we hear it all the time. But he didn't have a huge amateur background, did he? Though he won the gold in the Olympics, but he's definitely got that natural talent. And yeah, he's your typical textbook fighter. And that's, I think, how he would have to approach the fight. I think plenty of jabs to the body. I always found when I fought anyone or sparred with anyone who's elusive, the jab to the body is the perfect shot, because they lean back, they lean to the side and that, but the actual torso stays in the same position unless they move their feet out, which Fury does. But there's times when he stays on the ropes and he moves around, target the jab to the body, target the jab to the body. So I think they'd work a lot on that, AJ. You'd have to be very disciplined. Don't get greedy, don't overreach, don't get sloppy. And if he was to stick to a very disciplined game plan, he could win the fight. But I kind of, right now, if I was to bet my house on it, I would have to say Fury. But I wouldn't be able to watch. You know, I wouldn't be massivly confident. It's a great fight. It's a real pick-em.
Definitely. What's your thoughts on it? Like the talks about being in Saudi then, as a British fighter, British fight fan, what's your thoughts on it possibly landing in Saudi Arabia?
Like I say, I'd love it here. I'd love it in a stadium here. It'd be great to be able to go with all my mates, you know.
You'll be working, you won't be going with
like me and Chris will be finished after 2, 3, 4 of the undercard fights. So I'd probably be done by about 8 o'clock. Straight to the bar, a couple of beers, boxing. But yeah, I'd love it in England, and I'm sure most would. But you've got to look at this as well. Though it's a sport, it's a business, and I've heard and I've seen lots of tweets from people saying, "Well, how much money do you need?" I get that, but there's also the other people involved. So coaches are getting a percentage of the purse. You've got strength and conditioning, nutritionists. So I don't know what deal they're on, but it's a knock-on effect. The more money he gets, the more they get, and you forget about everybody else involved. You know, when I was fighting, I had Tony Sims, who I trained with. I was with him for 11 years, my whole pro career, and like a year before. I would have loved to have got more money to fight, so he would get more. Mm. You know, we're a team. You're a team, and I get it from that side of things. It's just a shame. You know, it was interesting in Saudi. It was. One, it rained over there, which is nuts. Apparently, there was a stat saying it hadn't rained on a Saturday for 7 years. I don't know who found that out, but and the atmosphere was better than I expected. But you cannot compare to back home. Like here, it's just they're special, aren't they? There's special shows here, and that has to have a special arena, stadium. Because it's that big of a fight. I hope I'd love it to be Wembley, but again, it'd have to be timing. I don't know where we now.
Stamford Bridge, maybe? Would that be good for you?
Bridge, yeah. I wish I would have fought there. I just wouldn't have had many fans there, I don't think.
I'd be there, Darren. Don't worry, I'd be there. There. What would be your advice then? I just sort of put you on the spot a little bit. What would be your advice if you were part of Team Wilder? What would you say to Wilder reference step aside and stuff like that to let this fight go ahead? What would your advice be?
Absolutely not. I was doing an interview.
Sorry, Dan. You wouldn't let him take step aside money?
My issue with this is, right, I know that you take the money, the step aside money, and there's a contract saying you've got to fight next. Well, look, for me, in sport, contracts seem to mean nothing. You know, you see football players signing 5-year contracts and they leave after 2 years. Mm-hmm. Who's to say that another contract will come out and say, no, hold on a minute, the Joshua Fury fight was so close, it was so epic, we'd rather see that again. So then they bring out another contract and blah, blah, blah. He gets more step aside money. And look, I don't have any faith. Faith's probably the wrong word. I don't have any, when it comes to his contract, I don't know how much they really mean. I don't know if they actually stand up to the writing that's on them. So what I mean by that is if I'm Wilder, I'm thinking, look, I got well beat, yes. I had an off night. He'll find some excuse to really believe in, but he will believe that he does have the potential to knock Fury out. You have to believe in yourself. He did put him down. He did almost knock him out. So I personally wouldn't take the step aside money. I would fight Fury again and try and land a shot and try and knock him out, because there could be a case that he goes chasing these big fights and they don't happen for a couple of years for him, and he might not be able to get that title back. Who knows? Don't get me wrong though, it'd be lovely to receive 5 mil, 10 mil for not having to do anything. You know, I'd love that. That's my kind of fight.
Yeah, that is my type of fight too.
Yeah, but I do think it's a risky move. I just don't know. I don't really understand the contract side of things. Will they stand up to what they are meant to do? You know, I don't know. It's risky, but don't get me wrong. I hope he does step aside. Personally, I hope he does, but I wouldn't.
That's very interesting. Talking about you, then. I mean, we've seen retired fighters nowadays on Twitter saying that they're going to make a comeback and stuff like that. So, what are your thoughts on Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield? James Toney's came out and said that he's coming back. What are your thoughts on all these sort of like living legends in the 50s coming back?
The first thing that comes to mind there was. I remember a while back, before all of this lockdown, my old man said to me, my old man's a decorator, and he said, Dad, will you give me a hand? It's fancy giving me a hand, but you're up. So I went, yeah, I can't give you a hand. I was in a job in Hackney, East London, and I was painting something, and I dropped a paintbrush. I picked it up, and as I picked it up, I bashed my head on this ledge. And my dad went, fucking hell, what's your head? What's your head? You don't need to be hitting your head. After all the years of boxing and sparring and fighting, the last thing you want to be doing is getting your head hit. You said protect it. And I guess for those guys, well, like, why bother? You know, there's that bug. I miss it desperately, but I would never dream of getting in there again. It was tongue in cheek with a Martinez, but I never would have got in the ring. Just for those guys who are now all in their 50s, James Tony in his 50s, thereabouts.
He's keeping up now, yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it will tarnish any of their legacies, if I'm deadly honest, because they're not. It's not real career stuff, is it?
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, what's the point? You know, what is the point? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they should be bothering putting their health at risk. You know, why bother? Why bother? Who are you doing it for? Yourself? The entertainment of others? I don't know. It's a weird one, but Mike Tyson's my favourite ever.
Did you see him on the pads though, Dan? Did you see his pad?
Yeah, incredible. But you know, I don't know. Would he be any better than he was against Kevin McBride? He was younger and he was, you know, though who knows what he was up to in his personal life, but still, can he be better than that Mike Tyson? Probably not. Though, you know, the pads don't hit you back, and he looks very fit, Tyson, doesn't he? And I think in this current climate, I'm going off track a little bit, I guess, because I'm matching him up against the current fighters out there. At his age and his size, he just wouldn't be able to compete, would you? I don't think.
Well, there's talk about him fighting Shannon Briggs for, I think somebody said to me 20 million or whatever in a bare knuckle fight.
Bare knuckle?
Yeah.
That's suicide. Someone get really hurt, I think. You know, like, they both can proper bang, and, you know, you hear it all the time, the last thing a fighter loses is his punch, and you see it on the pads there, but Tyson, he can proper whack, and by all accounts, Shannon Briggs has been keeping busy, hasn't he? He's been keeping his eye, so I'm sure he's still got plenty of power left. I just think that would be ridiculous. But I'd watch it.
Yeah, see,
I'd watch it.
But just desperate for sport, Dan. No, I would do it. I would watch you come back. That's how desperate I am. I'd watch Darren Barker come back against whoever.
Blimey, it would almost look like it was in slow-mo.
So you've never so we talk about itchy knuckles and stuff like that. Everyone says there's a price tag on everything. What would it take for you to have one more fight? Would there be any money involved in that? Or how much money would need to be involved for you to come back?
Too much. Like, there would not you know, too much. I was saying I could still activate the Felix Sturm rematch, but he's just been banged up, hasn't he? Nah, like
prison rules.
Nah, like nothing. Don't get me wrong. We could all do with more money. I'd never turn my nose up, I guess, to money. But I just, how much is enough? How much money do you need?
Exactly.
You know, no, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't fight. I couldn't do it anyway. I couldn't do the training. I wouldn't make the weight. Nah, but I'll always...
Exhibition? You do an exhibition thing? No?
Nah. Timing is not there. You know, it's just... There's no hunger or desire to do it. You know, it's funny, when I look back, if I see clips of me fighting, I kind of can't believe that was me, you know, because I feel like I'm nice and laid back now, relaxed and chilled out. Back then, I was a nightmare. I was fiery. I was quite aggressive, though a lot of people wouldn't have seen it from the exterior, but inside I was just... and I would hate to fight that guy, you know. I wouldn't like to fight me when I was fighting. There's no desire whatsoever. I'm just a massive fan now, just enjoying it, taking a back seat.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said to you, when I see you on a fight week, wherever we are, Sheffield, London, or wherever, I can see how much you, like, every time I talk to you off camera, we've got a little Peroni in our hand and we're talking boxing, and I know how passionate you are. Finally, before I let you go and you can enjoy this beautiful day with your family, I I just want to get a quick word on your thoughts on Dave Allen teaming up with Jamie Moore. You had Dave Allen for a short while. Just quickly, what's your thoughts on Dave Allen teaming up with Jamie?
He's brilliant, mate. You know, I said it, you know, if I'm honest, after the David Price fight, I didn't want to see him fight again. It was obvious we weren't really going to work with each other. It was difficult. He didn't want to come down to London anymore. And I wasn't going to go up north. So it just weren't working. We had some great times in Champneys and down at my gym. Really, really good times. Someone at the door. Some really good times. But yeah, sorry, I got off track there.
That's all right.
I think it's a great move for Dave. Look, he's a fighter man. He loves it. He's going to continue to do it. So he's got to team up with someone who's going to get the best out of him. And Jamie's a top man, top trainer. Blimey.
I can hear you.
It's all going off here. Yeah, he's got to team up with someone. Like me. Poppy, what's the matter? She's ordered more stuff. I can see him. Look, he's got bags of stuff from Amazon or something.
Is that what it is?
Probably. Yeah, so sorry about that.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, I think it's brilliant. Jamie's a top man, top trainer. I said it in another interview with right, she's gone back upstairs now. I think she locked the baby out there. My issue with or my concern with Dave is I know how good he can be. Like, I've seen him. I'm not an idiot. I'm not like I know this sport inside out. He's done things in the gym that I've been really impressed with. Really impressed with. He's got quick hands when he wants to show it. He can move his head. He can move his feet. He's physically very strong. But for some reason, he don't show it on fight night. It just does something happen. Like we've not seen the best of him. Look, I've seen plenty of them in my lifetime, and they're called gym fighters. They're people. It sounds like an insult, but it's not really. Because I'm saying Dave's talented. I really am. I do think he's a talented fighter, but there's more to come from him. So they need to find a way. Jamie's got a job in his hands to try and extract that and show it on, and get Dave to show it on fight night. He's done so much sparring in the past. Sometimes he goes back into that mould of just tucking up and not moving his head. He's quite content in taking shots on the gloves. Whereas I'd just rather, I'd love for him. I'd be so happy to see Dave win a title. I really would. I'd be buzzing. I believe Jamie can do it. I really hope he can do it. But Dave's got to be disciplined and say, right, come on, let's stick. Dude, show off. That's what fight night's about. We train as hard as he does. He does put in the graft. Go out there and show off, show people how good you are. But it's one of those unanswered questions. I think it's a question that can't be answered. Why is it people don't perform to the best of their ability? Is it the stress? Is it the pressure? Is it the crowd? Is it nerves? What is it? Dave always seems very relaxed in the changing room before, so I wouldn't say it was ever nerves. But I think they're going to work really well together. I think they'll have a good crack. It's a great, looks like it's a great stable at Jamie's gym. Dave's, we all know he's a funny bloke. So I think they're going to have a good crack, good working relationship. And I know MTK and Jamie have Dave's best interests at heart. They're not going to sling him in there with anyone just yet. I think he's got to do a bit of rebuilding if he wants these big fights. But I think the main objective for Dave is he wants to earn a few more quid and win some sort of title, because it's crazy to think he's not even won one. He's not won anything. So yeah, I wish him all the best.
Definitely. Well, Dan, I won't keep you much longer, mate. Going in again, thanks for doing this for IFL TV. I said to you before, it's always a pleasure talking boxing with you. I really, really enjoy it.
Cheers, mate.
So go and enjoy your Saturday, mate, and hopefully catch up with you soon.
Nice one, mate. Take care.
You too. Stay safe, Dan. Thank you.